Right, hello lads and lasses, and welcome back to Boys Down Under, where today it's going to be, I think, a shorter video than usual because we are here to talk about one singular player that Ange Postecoglou allegedly has his eye on. Before we get into the video though, remember to like the video and subscribe to the channel. And yeah, without further ado, let's get into it. So, who are Celtic interested in? According to a report in Brazil, it's a young Brazilian midfielder by the name of Fernando Henrique Pereira. Now, Fernando currently plays for Grêmio, and they are a Brazilian team in the first division, but are sitting right now second last. Regardless, he's 20 years old and primarily a defensive midfielder, but also has the capabilities to play further up as a central midfielder, box-to-box midfielder, and He's only recent. He's very experienced when it comes to first team football. He's only made 16 senior appearances for his club, Grêmio, since his promotion to the first team in March this year. So that equates to around 809 minutes of football in total. So very, very inexperienced in professional football. Now, despite this, he is extremely highly rated by his own club, Grêmio. Reports I've seen are suggesting that he has got a release clause in his contract of £40 million. That is huge. That is humongous. Now, but Celtic are definitely not looking at paying that. They are instead looking at a January transfer signing, I guess you could say. Now, according to Transfer Market, he's only worth £900,000. But due to the potential factor and his age, it's believed he's being valued somewhere around the 3.5 to 4 million mark. Somewhere in between there is what is expected he's worth at the moment. Now, he's a CDM and a centre mid, and those are two positions which Celtic have got depth, but not quality depth. Now, James McCarthy has been dealing with injuries all season, fitness issues, and he hasn't really found any strides of form. You've got Sorrow, who has failed to hit the highs of last season. Liam Shaw, not even getting a look in. And right now, it's only Nir Baton who Ange trusts, I guess you could say, to come on and as a sub to hold down the midfield. But to be fair to Nir Baton, he may have had a shaky start at centre-back this season, but CDM does seem to be his key position. And what he's been doing, what has been asked of him. He's came on into these matches and he's seen out the game in a very calm and cool and collected way, and I can't fault Baton for that. So it's fair play to him. But if we were wanting to give, McGregor a rest, but as well as David Turnbull, we're going to need another player who can play in centre mid and CDM that Ange trusts to be able to fill that gap. Now, that could be Fernando, but let's talk about him a bit more, get more in depth about him, because he's a player who has not played much senior football, and it's hard to find clips of someone like highlights if they haven't played much senior football to find out an accurate understanding of who the player is. Nonetheless, the power of YouTube saves us once again, and I found a few highlights of him playing for the Grêmio youth team or B team. I'm not sure exactly what it's called, but there's an abundance of low quality highlights there. And the major thing I found from these videos is that his passing game, more specifically the long passing game, and is really, really good. He's got a really nice pass on him, pinpoint accurate balls, and he's very, very able to turn a shaky situation in their own defensive half, in his team's defensive half, into a counter-attack, because he's just got that ability to release the ball and find a man who's running forward and attacking on goal. But also passing under pressure. Now, that is a quality all midfielders need, and that is also one Fernando Henrique possesses very well. Obviously, the pressure in being put under pressure when you're a really top player in the youth teams, it's not as hard as, when you're playing professional football, especially in Scotland, where if he gets the ball, he'll be pressed instantly. But he certainly is very calm on the ball, and he doesn't panic when he has it at his feet. He looks up, he assesses the best option, and he will make that pass. And 9 times out of 10, it will stick. Now, at the same time, does a player who has made 16 senior appearances warrant a £3.4 million transfer fee? Well, obviously, if he's got a £40 million release clause, he must be extremely highly rated by Grêmio, because you only put that in for players who are worth a lot less than that, but could certainly reach that market value. But the thing is, he rarely features for his team. Now, I know I said he made 16 senior appearances, but I mean, that's just in all competitions. In the league this season, the Brazilian Serie A, he's not even making the bench for Grêmio. Like, he's featured 4 times, right, in the league this season. The season's been 26 games into the Brazilian Serie A season. He's made 4 appearances and played 12% of the matches over those 4 games. So essentially, 12% of 360, I did the calculations here, it's 43.2 minutes. He's played 43 minutes of a 26-game season so far. And it's around 10 minutes per appearance that kind of equates to. So he's so highly rated, but he's just not getting a look into the team, not even on the bench. He hasn't been on the bench in recent weeks, and he's not injured. So it's very, very concerning, the situation going on there. But as for my opinions on the transfer, look, in the modern age of football, £3.5 million isn't a lot for Celtic. But it does seem a lot for a player like Fernando Henrique, who obviously has a bit of hype around him, especially in Brazil, but hasn't really proven himself at senior level as of yet. And to be honest, he hasn't even had the chance to do that. So from his youth highlights, though, he certainly appears to be a very capable player, but a player with a lot of potential, but it appears at Grêmio he just doesn't have the resources needed to fulfill his potential. And look, it just depends whether Ange feels Celtic is the right place for him to, develop as a footballer and let his quality and potential and hit his quality and potential, because obviously, and I can see he has it in him, but he just needs to be nurtured to be able to get to that level. And the other thing is that Ange needs to see in Fernando a player who can come into this Celtic squad and improve it and put pressure on Turnbull and McGregor. Like, obviously, he won't kick McGregor out of the squad. McGregor's our captain, and he's doing really well at the moment, but he needs to be able to put pressure on them for them to better themselves. And Ange needs to be content that Fernando Henrique, if he is brought on in a game, he will be able to do the job that is required of him. But as for me, I'm a bit skeptical on this deal. But look, that's just me thinking, not seeing much of him and thinking he's a bit inexperienced. Because he is 20 years old, to be fair. You'd expect someone at 20 years old to have a bit of first-team football about them. But nonetheless, this deal, it literally could be completely false, and we might not hear anything about the lad again. But for now, yeah, I'm skeptical. But I guess that is all from me. So leave your opinions on this transfer in the comments below. I certainly do think Celtic need a CDM or centre mid, but I don't think he is the right option as of now. But whether you are for it or against it, leave your opinion in the comments below. Remember to like the video, subscribe to the channel. And so, until next time, which is tomorrow for the St. Johnstone preview, hail, hail.